Let's get cracking!
Welcome everybody here to our coverage of the Dota 2 Champions League. I'm your host for the English live stream tonight, Toby1, bringing you our two-game series. Of course, it's the only series of the night, but should be a good one anyway. Fnatic, new and improved, or should we say Fnatic of your makers? No, we won't say that. It's Fnatic. So the only remaining player from the Fnatic roster that will be here is Honey. Everyone else has been removed or replaced, and that's why we have a Rise, Ace, Riser, as well as Come With Me in the full lineup of Fnatic. Now, they play with this roster the other night, and personally, well, I never really saw the MYM roster achieving much, but it seemed with Honey backing them, or leading them, I should say, things seem to be a lot more focused for Fnatic, and they're having some better results than before. Of course, they still have themselves a long run as far as their roster goes, as far as this whole competition goes. Currently, they're sitting at 3-5. That's their results with their two-game series. They've still got a couple more games to play. They got this match right now up against Power Rangers, and they have a game up against Team Empire. Team Empire, the team who are currently at the very, very top of the leaderboard. So, in total, you will be playing a grand total of 14 games. They've played through 8 of theirs right now, so there's still a couple more to come up from Fnatic's lineup. They got a game up against Alliance, and that may actually decide who gets through into that 5th position, because right now it's still very much in the open air. If Power Rangers lose both of these games tonight, it completely opens up the playoffs again. Because Power Rangers were the teams that upset everybody. They've played 12 out of their 14 games as their last series for the competition, and they must get at least one victory to ensure the fact that they will be in the playoffs, or at least be drawn for the playoffs positions. There's a minimum of 6 losses, a minimum of 7 losses, and you will get into the playoff. If you get any more than that, then you actually run the risk of never even making it to it all. But if you want the details for that one, you can go to d2cl.org. Of course, the group which I'm reading off right now is over on joiner.com, and you can see the big coverage page. Either click the big golden text in the live and upcoming bar, or use the big coverage tab, which also highlights all the different seasons for you, right there for your viewing pleasure. For now, drafting time. So the Batrider and the Faceless Void being removed down here by Honey, valuing more the initiation and the teamfight controls of Power Rangers, and rightly so. These guys really do like to push the limits of team fights, but they get 2 heroes which they find work perfectly for them. The SD to try and either stall up or be the initiator, be it with defensive or aggressive disruptions, and the Brewmaster able to capitalize on top of that, maybe buy some space after he gets sealed up by the Skywrath Mage to then come straight back out and get the split off. So that's the ideas from Power Rangers right now. It's giving them power during their team fight, while Fnatic will actually pick up a second initiator in one of the most popular combinations you can get in these days. And that's going to be the Centaur and the Skywrath Mage together. So it's a Blinken initiation from the Centaur, potential follow-up silence, nuke control, all that kind of jazz thrown to whoever they can find. And the Brewmaster will have some problems with that. More than likely, Power Rangers might get a little bit more defensive about this and ban out something like the Doombringer in this game. Primarily because the double silences up against the Brewmaster can really stall him up. And that SD disruption won't save him from something as powerful as the Doom. At the same time, you still have to work out how these lanes are going to work, because this could just be an off-lane Centaur, and then the Skywrath Mage roaming around doing his thing, or you could be running a safe lane Centaur, at which point it would kind of screw everything up. This Necrolite pickup, it's slowly and steadily pushing its way back into this meta. Just on the cusp right now, not in every game, because not every team likes or really has played or stratted with Necrolite. Obviously, the new patch is still going to take some time to settle in. So I'm massively excited with the LAN events coming up. Not only is the D2CL LAN going to be awesome, because that's in, I think, 4 weeks' time from now. Let me actually count it out. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4 weeks' time. On the 31st of this month, we'll actually have DreamHack Bucharest. So I'll be traveling to that one. I'll be casting with Bucking Mad, Sebastian.
Reserve time.
And we'll be having ourselves a great time casting some of the greatest teams in the world. Of course, they qualify here through the D2CL. We'll have the playoffs for the US division in a moment. That's actually starting up in 2 days' time from now. While, as far as the European division goes, because China was removed from that competition as they had other conflicts with other tournaments, the number 1 team from the European division will go through. So if you can get that number 1 spot, which right now is, if Fnatic loses 1 game in all their future games, then it's going to be Team Empire.
Radiant team
because Team Empire are 9-3. Actually, then again, they still have a couple of games left to go. So technically, it could still be Fnatic, but they're the only other team that is in reach of Team Empire at the moment. So if Team Empire lose both their games, they'll still be able to go through if Fnatic lose just 1 game. And that means direct invite for Team Empire to DreamHack Bucharest. That's why the other teams are battling it out for the other 2 slots. So 4 teams in total will qualify themselves in. As far as the American teams go, well, only 1 can come from that one. So SNA and Na'Vi NA are currently playing it out with Pain and Not Today. They'll be the playoffs for the North American division for the D2CL. So, let's try to pick up by Power Rangers. They really have been valuing their aggro tri-lane a lot, Power Rangers. Like, more than anything else. I think they saw this patch and just considered going nothing but kill lineups. Anything you can get pickoffs with. Or at least get like a half-even trade during a team fight, they just go for it. And they don't hold back. They just keep going and going and going. They're like a little Energizer bunny.
10 seconds remaining.
The 4th pickup now has to come out from Power Rangers. So you got the Shrike, you got the SD. Remaining. I know they ran VS cores in the past, but won't really synergize perfectly with that Shadow Demon. And instead they're just looking for the extra burst damage early on. You get the control with the Split Earth, but you get the burst damage from the lightning damage from the Shrike. They'll still need another follow-up target. The Mirana was the perfect ban out, because that would have worked really, really nicely. Not always perfectly with the SD, but if you can hit the combo right, then you will have the powerhouse combo, and you will bring somebody down. But for now, lol. Alrighty then. Thank you, Volvo. Thank you, Volvo. Alright, then we come back again. Beastmaster pickup.
Fnatic's turn to
they are on the Radiant side, so it's not as easy to do the stack. Then again, over on the Dire side, it's not as easy either. It used to be a lot easier with the position of the Ancient area, because you could just send the ball like a little bit around the tree line, and it could do the pull for you. But with the new Ancient stack area, it takes a little bit longer for the ball to get around. So it's not as efficient as it used to be. Technically, you can use your Beastmaster axes to do the stack.
10 seconds remaining.
But it also means, like, if you don't get your levels up for the Beastmaster,
5 seconds
then you're unable to farm up those Ancients as well. Like, you can be spamming out level 2 axes for a while in order to get through a good Ancient stack. The puck will come up by Fnatic, so one of Harney's favorite heroes. I'll see if he actually wants to play it in this game. Because at the moment, we've got a lot of stun, control, lockdown. We've got, obviously, the Centaur initiation. The Wraith King, once he has a Blink Dagger, could also technically be the initiation. The puck will have some troubles with the Beastmaster, but everyone else he should be fine up against. Like the Brewmaster will send him up and towards the air. And that's what your Phase Shift and Blink Daggers are for. And potentially 4-star saving from the Skywrath of the Centaur too, to just get them out of range of that Brewmaster ultimate once the Brewlings hit the deck. The SK final ban out, so must be thinking that's going to be the combination with the Sand King, and then actually force a Wraith King core then. Then again, what am I talking about? Yeah, Wraith King core instead of a Wraith King support. I'm still skeptical on which way they could go with that. But it's the same for both these teams. Like, everything is open. The fact that Terrorblade as well as Legion Commander also haven't been selected should be just hovering in the backs of our minds. But there's so many great heroes in this patch that
reserve time.
I really don't know if you can ever say you're restricted with what you can pick. Fnatic, their final ban choice. There's already a lot of initiators. The only thing which they have to worry about is if it's going to be an aggro tri-lane or if that's a top lane Beastmaster. Because if that's a top lane Beastmaster, then That's more of a counter defense thing, and you could go for more of a push kind of thing. They banned the Luna. They might be
Radiant
worried that it's
team
still an aggro trial lane. Because the Beastmaster on the safe lane makes sense, because then you put the Centaur up against it. Fnatic in this game, I'd almost want to see them go something along the lines of... And I know it's really weird to say with the Beastmaster on the field, but you could go for an Enigma in this lineup. It's a little greedier. You could always go the lines of a Chen as well. Because the nuke damage from Power Rangers is there in ways, but it's not perfect, especially up against heroes like Centaur and Wraith King. They could try and tank him out. Having both Hand of God and the ability to send him back before the damage can be inflicted enough may just be what you need. And then you could use your army to push the lanes. It's a Spectre. Alright, so it is most definitely a Beastmaster off lane. The SD Leshrac will be roaming. The Brewmaster will be mid, and the Spectre will be a safe lane. So Fnatic have to make the decision now. Do they try and battle up against a late game Spectre, or do they try and take a lot of early game advantage up against this lineup? Knowing that the 3 cores will be melee means they could get a huge advantage out from that too. I'm actually waiting for something more like a Lone Druid as the last selection here. Good control, because the Brewmaster can control the bear during the team fight as long as he splits off, but if you're using abilities on that bear, that means the Centaur, the Wraith King, and the Puck move freely. And the Beastmaster is not going to want to roar a bear. His primary target every single time is going to be the Centaur when he blinks in before he gets the hoof stomp off, or it's going to be the Puck. And then they got to kill the Puck off very, very quickly. But the Puck's going to try and probably build into a very early Yule Scepter to buy himself that space when also the Haunt from Power Rangers is used. Because that's going to cause him his next part of his problems. What happens with that early chip damage which the Haunt will do to him. And if he has to phase shift or if his Blink Dagger gets put on cooldown, then the Beastmaster or the Brewmaster could technically capitalize on that situation. Now Fnatic, last choice now. Are we looking at a core Wraith King? Or do we go down the lines with a different support? Do we go down the lines putting the Wraith King into a support role? Not probably the greatest thing to move him with a Skywrath Mage. But potential is there. And they will be. It'll actually be a support Wraith King. And they'll go for a core Morphling. So someone who is technically capable of helping to deal with the split push power of the Spectre. You can do that through your Replica. It's a lot of good initiation. The E-Blade changes did happen as well. So you'll no longer go Scepter form yourself when you have your full E-Blade up and running. And there is, of course, that bit of a delay as well between the E-Blade attack and like when you can get your full combo off. So Shotgun Morphling is nowhere near as powerful as it used to be. Because it's not just a bump kind of thing. Primarily because Tinker was just exploiting it so heavily. But now, you will be able to still do that proper combination, either Leshrac or the SD. I don't know if you can do it before they'll fully respond to it, especially that Shadow Demon, considering he will have Disruption. So they'll have to buy some space to know what that SD is doing. But he's the only man that could really stop that combination from happening. As, it seems I've left Winter on. I can't turn it off. Alright, so we'll be having ourselves a Winter Wonderland right now with PR and Fnatic. As Arise, come with me. Let's run through our lineup. So we will have Arise on the Puck. We'll have him going towards the solar mid with just some Shed Tangos and a Null Talisman. So Santa for him. Come with me will be the Wraith King support. We'll have Rise as the supporting Skywrath Mage. And then Harney as over the Morphling. And he'll be safe lane. Ace will be the off lane Centaur. Putting that ward down rather deep. Wanting to make sure he can see down and also across. And also back up again. So it's a very effective ward. The only thing he doesn't see is this room position on the side. But I'm fairly certain he'll be spending a lot of time just walking over and back with that one. So as far as our PR lineups, we have J4 and Leshrac. We just stick with the Shadow Demon. They'll be supporting Nexus, who'll be playing the core Spectre on this safe lane. And what is that piece? Okay. Fantastic. Also the armor looked nice. The Brewmaster playing the middle lane there by Shashlo. And that leaves Cheshire Cat as the off-lane Beastmaster. Only 1 Clarity and 4 Tangos. Doesn't really have a... Well, he could... this is going to be his stack point. And knowing that the Beastmaster is off-lane, and it's really obvious from the lanes too, that Fnatic had to know this. The only other way it would turn out is if they ran an aggro tri-lane.
Double damage.
And then they do see the Leshrac up on top. And he should join Cheshire Cat for the early start of this. Getting a kill in the off-lane won't really happen. Not over on a Centaur. Not one that picked up boots first and the only... You do have the Leshrac stun, but that's the only controller. We're not going to count the Spectral Dagger. It's a move speed change of 8%. it's not enough to really have any kind of, like, big influence. Alright, so the bounty rune did end up going the way of the Shadow Demon as well. So both runes taken by Power Rangers, so 2 for 2 at the moment. Cheshire Cat's going to have a bit of a rough time up here in the top lane. It's just going to be all harassment back. He did only buy boots first, so any direct attacks as well will have their full effect over on him. And he's already down 2/3 of his life points and got 3 Tango charges left. Kami's rotating over, so he's going to come in and try and... he will, in fact, successfully block up the pull point. And then he can walk in behind this tower, because the creep wave's coming in. Not all the way, but potentially. With no boots first, getting that Hellfire Blast off would be a very, very risky kind of move. And they need the Beastmaster lower than what he is right now. Which isn't really possible until you're going to get some extra levels up. Which means Rise needs to have Concussive Shot. Come with me. Being watched by Cheshire Kazio come up. As Ace trying to leech the experience from the pull point. So everyone's just scampering around for either CS or experience points for both the supports. And Fnatic, well, okay, they got a lot of experience points coming their way on the top lane. This is pushed out a very, very long way. No concussive shots, just all harassment damage. Rise trying to go for the body block. That's why Cheshire Cat cut through the tree line. And they will force him out of the lane. At the same time, Cheshire Cat is going to walk down at the perfect time to pick up the rune. So no matter what it is, really, Rise has to stick with him here and force him out. Be it bounty, be it another real rune. Shashlow's coming over as well. The rune's going to spawn up. Rise doesn't have a bottle, so I'll just give the bounty rune to him. Well, it'll be an invis rune for the Shadow Demon, and that's an opening for Ace on the bottom lane. To kill him off, that is. Depending on how far he wants to move out. And this is the downside about putting that Observe Ward where he did. They don't see what's being picked up. When he does that, however, he is 100% aware of what's going on. Now, that ping just came out from the Shadow Demon. He may have pinged the fact that the Sentry Wall was dropped, and then the range creep will attack him. So, the jig is up. Rise. Actually got baited on that phase shift. And Shashlo having himself a really good time there in mid lane. 13-0 up against a 12 for 3. Both capable of throwing a lot of nukes. And Shashlo, well, he's already running his bottle non-stop, but has another 600 gold, so his boots will also arrive. And Arise, of course, having that early null task, but gave him some good advantage early on. But now the Brewmaster already has his 2 points up in Drunken Brawler. So holding onto that advantage is next to impossible for him. Spectre is the man with the better advantage. 18 for 3. Looks like we're going to see a phase boot build coming up from Nexus. More about the initiation style of things. That is not what J4 wanted to have happen. Well, the experience might get split up. Ace, nice little dodge. That double edge gave 3 last hits to Ace, and that basically completes up most of his Tranquil Boots. Which doesn't seem like much, but it's enough to keep him in this lane for a very long time. He's got himself a little bit of a friend, however. That friend can actually hold the creep wave back if he wants to. He's lost his friend. He's going to run underneath the tier 1 tower. Or is it? Yep. No, it's coming back up again. That doesn't actually delay the creep wave at all. He wanted to come in and hold the creep wave here. Even if it was only for like 5-10 seconds, that would have been enough. There's another rune contest. Just a quick bounty rune as well as a haste rune coming the way here, Power Rangers. And there's your phase boots over on the Spectre. It's just an over-aggressive hero, a way to zone out in the lane. It also really helps for these last hits of his. It's like Ace is actually holding onto his money for now. He could just buy his Tranquil Boost and have him send out the courier. Oh, Shashlo, really low. That rift. Arise missing his timing. He might be really annoyed if he's one attack away from killing off the Brewmaster. He phase shifts to start with. Now the concussive shot flies in with the Hellfire Blast. First blood will be spelt. 4 heroes came in for that one, including Ace. And that TP towards middle lane ended up being cancelled. So just a good gank. Everyone gets to be involved, so a good experience change. 110 for everybody. Just the extra cash coming in for the Wraith King as he's the man that took the first blood. And they look up to the top lane. Cheshire Cat's already got his 2 points up in the ball. His ball's actually timing out. He's already managed to get the stack, so that means the dewarding was done too. Movement's coming over from Centaur. And Ace, well, Hoof Stomp, double edge. They needed that silence as well from a Ryan, so there's no clap. Well, actually, that silence is really low in duration. And Ace, too much damage from the tower. Tangos, or even the bottle charge that Ori's trying to give him then to keep him alive wasn't enough. Which means they end up just feeding a kill over to the Brewmaster, completing his arcane boots, or he can hold on to the extra money to get just that little bit more close towards his Blink Dagger. As Cheshire Cat, he knows he'll win the initial. The initial movement speed battle.
A tithe to the impurities.
But, yeah. He doesn't have boots and Beastmaster does. But the Arun does go the way of Rise. So good bottle charges for him. Looks like just a simple bounty Arun going to the way of the Lashrak. Up to level 4 now. And Ace is not willing to take any chances. He threw away his life in the middle lane. Now he's trying to be a little bit more controlled about it all. And Rise managed to find one. With Dream Coil, as well as a 3-2 combo. You'll have to get both in the silence. Oh, he wastes the smoke. They have no sentries. Actually, they do. They have one on the track. But no follow-up. And in fact, Arise just finds the semi-double stack here. Took one of the big guys, then just backs the crap out. And that gave time for Rise to soak up some experience in the mid lane, which was much needed for him. Getting closer towards that level 6. He's also not too bad at zoning out heroes. So he held onto his mana for the moment. He doesn't really have a lot of it. 455, not much to speak of. Next is still free farming up. As we're 7 minutes in, we switch ourselves to the net worth. 3.4k. Net worth going his way. Only sitting about 100 behind Hardy. Looks like he's going to go into a Lincoln Sphere for a full carry build from him. And the Smoke Gang is coming over from Come With Me. The ball's going to see him. Slows him down, and now he realizes. SC Disruption. Hardy can't do really much to help him out here. Come With Me is dead.
This makes no sense.
And the Smoke Gang was bound to work at the end of the day. Unless everyone was back behind their towers, that was always going to work. So, 8 minutes in. Advantage just stretching a little bit away for Power Rangers. I'm still liking their later game potential from this lineup. The fact that you are running out with a Spectre. The Spectre's perfect up against heroes like Puck.
A tithe to the impurities.
The only downside you're going to have is how much damage Spectre is capable of dishing out during the control period of Power Rangers. Between Raw, as well as having Split Earth, Brewmaster, Ultimate, the SD Purge, all of these things working together, you need to make sure you get that big control off. Speaking of control, Spectre also needs to have the damage output, which is how much damage you can do during the control periods, relating to how many levels you get in the initiating items over on the Power Rangers lineup, and also how many times Spectre is going to die. Looks like she bought the drum recipe before death, so not as much money being lost by the Spectre. But it's obviously not the greatest position in the world. Because she gave a lot of experience over, and he lost a lot of time in farming. And this allows Hani to have a bigger advantage. So Come With Me as well as Rise. They keep going on this gank train. 3-point Hellfire Blast, 2-point actually up in Vampiric Aura. So no extra point up in the stats here from Come With Me. Even though the rework was there. But then again, it's reincarnation. Yeah. It works. Ace. She's getting a lot of space to farm up. Nex is just feeling so defensive in this lane. He dies once and instantly he fears to come towards the front lines. And rightly so, because there's two guys just hovering around here looking for a kill on him. And with a creep wave under the tower, they can try and find him, but they're looking for the SD. And they're both cutting their way into the tree line. The poison comes out, so Come With Me. He can flag the fact of where that SD is. And most of the creep wave is gone by this point. That's why they couldn't just dive under the tower and search for the kills. So if they did that, they would have lost themselves. Shrek not looking too healthy on this top lane, assuming Hani with the waveform was able to do something about that. And they're coming in towards middle lane. So, already over from a Rise. He'll go for the silence, Hellfire Blast. Brewmaster, he does have to split, but that's why the follow-up silence from Rise is there. And those two Rise put the second point up into the seal. That extra second duration is what he's searching for. That's exactly what they needed up against the Brewmaster then. That little bit of extra time to push the advantage. Well, Puck, I think, was hoping to pick up another rune at this point. But your haste rune going the way of We Just Sick. Come on me, though. He's trying to find his level 6. Now, I'm not quite sure if this is really the greatest time to do this. To level up level 6. Kind of enjoy the way the Chinese run their Wraith Kings instead, where they hold on to that reincarnation. So they don't have to level it up. Which means when you're ready to fight, and you think you can actually, like, there's a purpose to your reincarnation, then you can level it up during the engagement. Harney's still free farming top lane. 800 gold in front. The Pug is now in front of the Spectre too. More and more problematic for the Spectre. You finish up drums, you've got phase boots. That's not bad, but you kind of almost need to go into, I don't want to say diffuser play, but a casual Yasha into a diffuser play in this game. It's the biggest weakness of the Fnatic lineup. It's the mana pools over on the Centaur, as well as the Wraith King. Even Skywrath Mage to a point. They come in for an initiation. Cheshire Cat, he's got no mana for a Roar. Soul Ring was on cooldown. We Just Sick TP'd in. He instantly gets silenced up. They're going to come in one by one with the TPs here. And Harney will stand his ground. Now the Spectre Haunt, they'll bring in more. Rise in the tree line. He will go down. Giving a double kill out now. They will repel Fnatic for the moment. But you just committed your Spectre Haunt. You brought everybody up towards the top lane. Well, now AIDS gets space in the bottom lane to find the remaining farm for his Blink Dagger. I think Fnatic are fine with this. They didn't lose much for it. Sure, Spectre now walks around with an extra kill to his name, but they need a lot more to make this worthwhile. Come with me. Still alive, still reincarnation. The Blink Dagger is now actually being finished on the rise, so both Blinks will be arriving at the same time for Fnatic. The top tower is being pushed out. As the Puck, well, has the TP scroll, so can come and join the fight. They'll use the fortification. Nice being pushed back. The Roar will be available this time from Cheshire Cat, but come with me. Moving forward, and then the double TPs. They're nicely split, but they found Cheshire Cat over on the side. Now Arise, he phase shifts out, now Ace. The perfect Blink Dagger time. They didn't realize he had that Nexus. He's caught himself caught inside the tree line. Like a cutter shot him up. The Brewmaster of Spirits doing a lot of damage to Arise. They will bring him down, but come with me. Try and beat the crap out of the Spectre, who really has had no influence in this fight. Harney will pick himself up some extra kills, and they're chasing down Shashlo. And Power Rangers found themselves in way too deep. We're not ready for these Blink Daggers. At least the Brewmaster can buy his own at the end of it all. But that was not the fight they were searching for. 3 for the price of 1. A big swing coming up as far as the XP and the gold.
Radiant's middle tower.
And yes, Fnatic had to expend some decent abilities, but they still never actually triggered the reincarnation over on this Wraith King. Not to mention, now you got Kalmi with 215. He's up to 1,000 gold, which means that Blink Dagger on the Wraith King isn't that far off. Harney's walking around with 1,900 gold, 13 minutes in, which means that Ultimate Orb's coming up. And the Lincoln Sphere will not be far after that.
A tithe to the impurity.
Other items, because Orion's already had his Blink Dagger. Should buy up Treads pretty shortly too. Another 400 gold over on the Centaur after he initiated in. And leaves your Skywrath Mage with 700 gold, boots, sentries, smoke, observers. So buying a lot of these utility items for Fnatic. While Power Rangers, now you got a Beastmaster who's got no great initiation. He's not building a mech for his team because he hasn't got that money yet. He's looking for Ancient Farm to probably get himself back on track. While J4, it's basic boots on both the supports. The SD as well as Leshrac Networth. Well, Leshrac's not as bad. I'll go to center oldie. They're coming bottom lane. Trying again bring down the Spectre. There's no mana for a Mystic Flare in here for Rise, which is still very problematic. You'll have it in like 10 seconds time.
Radiant's
At the same time, if We Just Sick as well as J4 try to initiate, then they could have actually turned back into some seals and control. And with no Brewmaster ultimate, they can't really do anything yet. As if he TPs and has a crack. Now Harney, just being very over-aggressive. He's got himself a replica, so he has no problem with this. He can just move himself back to this replica if he wants to. Come with me, why are you so low?
Dire's top tower
It's like,
is under attack.
oh, it's not even Brewmaster. Just him being so low. 15 seconds left for Harney's replicate. When that happens, he's just going to waveform in and jump out to the replicate. It's like middle lane, Arise. Yeah, he's going to Dream Call and have an initiation here. And they force a Primal Split. If Arise lives right now, this makes it worth it. The Red King can be sent up and towards the air. Because I think Wraith King also knows he can't die in this situation. Bottom lane, they have jumped in. Hani, oh, he has to wait for himself away to safety. Ace, Wolf Stomp going to buy himself some space from the Spectre, and now give him space to Blink Dagger down as well. And the Skyraz Mage is still hovering around here with Hani beside him. Kawami's also going to scout out the fact that this ancient area is here. And half injured. And Power Rangers, they're just not finding that opening, and because of it, they just keep falling further and further behind.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, I can't show both at the same time? Oh, what a shame. So, Hani, Rise, and Arise. Oh, that's not complicated. Looking to the bottom lane.
Is under attack.
That sentry ward is down, so they can see the obs, which has been left in the lane. That's just easy money coming in for Hani, not to mention easy D ward. As Arise will now pick up a double damage rune right underneath the Radiant Observer ward, so they are very much aware of this. But this rune will allow them to force the mid-tier 1 tower. Kawami's keeping the pressure on. Ace is waiting for the jump and initiation. And with the DD rune from Arise, they have enough physical damage to get through this tier 1 tower. Fortification will be available, but if you force that out as well, then Fnatic just rotate to the tier 1. Then again, with the way they change it, you can't just rotate yourself into a tier 1 tower. Let's just let it go, because they know they're going to get it back anyway. So the tower.
Radiant's middle tower
Now it will go down. Fortification gets to come back off
Radiant's
cooldown, so they
middle
can
tower
protect
has
their bottom
fallen.
tier 1 tower if the rotation did come. At the same time, I don't think they really care. And now Fnatic, they come over to take the Ancient stack. They don't want to let Beastmaster have this.
Radiant's top
As
tower
far as
is
vision
under
goes, you got the
attack.
Hawk that's watching them do this. And if he comes in too close, it's going to be very problematic. And really, oh, okay, Spectre with the Brewmaster. So they haunt in and they split. Huntington's Liquid Sphere triggered. Now the reincarnation will trigger. Holding Nexus, we just Sick, J4, and Cheshire Cat all on a slowed hit. Yeah, okay, come with me, Steb. He's dead through and through. But this Brewmaster's on the wrong side of the river. He's trying to disable everybody so the rest of Power Rangers can come over. As J4 was considering the stun but backed up. Arise has Dream Call and there's no split. Silence on 3. Dream Call on 2. The Orb will connect on Cheshire Cat. Shashlo will take the hit, but then Ace. That's a perfect steal with the Mystic Flare from the Hoof Stomp initiation. Cheshire Cat's stick charge will keep him alive for a moment. Mahani will bring him down.
Didn't you see me wait?
So Arise really forcing the issue against Power Rangers. And very successfully so. Pushes Fnatic's advantage now, 13-6. Overall, Fnatic still coming ahead as far as the experience and gold change. He makes a replicate of that Spectre, and the jump in.
Radiant's
And that
middle
orb
tower
with
is
Rift
under
attack,
attack.
Waveform will connect. They do so much damage so quickly, and Nexus, well, it's a replica jump out. Hani's still got his strength, he's just here on TP. The Lincoln Sphere will protect him from the stuns. You can purge him, but it won't make any effect. Actually, TP down to the tier 1 tower. Doesn't have a bottle available. There's a bounty rune on the bottom and an illusion rune up on top. So now Hani just wanted to get out as quickly as he possibly could, and the tier 1 tower is the nearest thing he can click with his mouse.
Radiant's bottom
Like
tower
Kami is
is
enjoying
under
this push on
attack.
bottom lane. Now Shashlo. Well, there's a Mystic Flare available. That Brewmaster, too much damage for him. The Shrike Stun next to arrive as well. Kawami, no reincarnation. He's got a Hellfire Blast, but Rise has no mana. So I'll let Kawami drop, but they got to kill on a Brewmaster for a Wraith King. That's more than worth it for them. Especially when you've still got Ace free farming up on top lane, building into a pipe. You got Rise just moving himself around the map, having a great time. You'll actually see the change is better for Power Rangers with a 1-1 trade-off. But that's the overall money that's been earned. Cheshire Cat's now going to give a little bit more of that back over to Arise. He's trying to juke out the Shadow Demon into the tree line, and Arise kind of knows that he's not alone. He's waiting for the Blink Dagger to come off cooldown, and now should just TP out. And they can't see him, they can't stop him. Even the tier 2
Radiant's
tower takes
middle
some damage.
tower is under attack.
Yeah, but the reason why I still will class Fnatic, even though they go behind in golden experience for that kill, is because, one, technically they got some nice levels off it for the Wraith King. But more importantly, you're keeping the Brewmaster down. There's no Aghanim after coming out from him. It's Treads and a Blink Dagger on a Brewmaster. And with no Aghanims, no
Radiant's
potential
bottom tower
BKB,
is under
he can't
attack.
break 3 of these silences.
Radiant's
The
bottom
only thing that will be able to
tower
go
has
through a
fallen.
BKB would be a Scythe device to be purchased. So keeping the Brewmaster away from his next 2 major items is so critical. They haven't stopped Nexus from getting his Diffuser play, but at the same time, the Illusions only have 1100 life points.
Dire's middle tower.
So there's not
is
really a
under
lot to play
attack.
around with, and that's quite easily disposed of by a lot of the Fnatic lineup. Now, they're going to come in and take Roshan. Does that come with his full blade mail too? No, he still needs the sword. But with Roshan going down, Ace will have the full pipe up and available. Now, everyone goes missing, apart from Arise, who's there in the middle lane, Mr. 2.5k gold. They don't need anybody else. And if the initiation does come in, then Arise, actually, even right now, he probably should be rotating down to this area. Even if he's not inside the pit, he should be there for a counter initiation. Alright, so here they come. Smoked up. That's why I'm not quite sure why Arise isn't there. The Spectre Haunt will come. The Brewmaster jumps in and splits Dire. They got the Aegis Immortal into the hands of the Morphling. The Skywrath Mage dies very quickly, but now in comes Arise. He gets the silence over on Cheshire Cat. The Dream Call over on 2. Wraith King may die, but it's probably going to be for the greater good. Even the Disruption was able to save Cheshire Cat for a moment. That Brewmaster is Spectre. He's doing some serious work. There's 3 for the price of 2. The Beastmaster's not looking too healthy at the moment, but it's Hani who's getting brought down. The Aegis gone. Cheshire Cat's away to safety. And Hani, well, he's going to make a copy of Nexus and turn his advantage against him. Warp Stomp will connect, and Nexus will go down. So Roshan, all this advantage went to Fnatic. Then Power Rangers came in, took a wonderful fight. But at the end of the day, Power Rangers will be coming out on top of that because Fnatic were the ones who had the advantage before that fight began. So the gold comes up from them overall by 1908. And then you've got the experience up as well by 5.1k. This is not the way Fnatic would really want that to go down because they don't get an advantage from the engagement. Remember, this is the new world of Dota 2. Everything is about, like, either you win the team fight fully and then you push with the lineup that's not as great with push power, or you're able to force the issue and just push down buildings after you take 1 or 2 heroes. That's the way to do this. You win by map control. You win by actually doing what Dota always was, which was force the fortress. That's the thing. You need to bring down the main buildings in order to win the game. It's just become a hell of a lot more important now. Now, Hani is waiting on the top lane. He's got 2.6k gold over on him. Interested to see, too, what this Morphling wants to build into. If Hani even values now the E-Blade, or if he considers going for a different style of item. Nah, it's still going to be E-Blade. He got the Ghost Scepter. It's actually very close to finishing the E-Blade. Silence, Dream Call. He's got Horn off cooldown in a moment, but they'll have enough damage. There goes the Horn, but he's already down. That's a big waste. That's actually a really big waste, especially in middle lane when they find Cheshire Cat. Ace was able to jump himself in. With that center ulti, Shashlo will jump himself straight back out again. You take 2 towers. You take 2 kills and then you take the towers. This means Hani's E-Blade is now up and running. And it's a full advantage coming the way of Fnatic. So Centaur will take the last hit. Hani has to go back to pick it up. But they just rotate towards middle lane. He's already got a replicate, which is at 33 life points. So hey, why not? E-Blade, jump back over to it.
Here I am.
And again, they do need the creep wave with them. That's the Puck now actually going through Dagon build. I suppose that's one way where you can couple up with the Morphling. They were at a good gank team over on that top lane. But if you get that E-Blade hit off, Hani. Okay, let's see how long J4 survives. So she now uses the waveform to initiate. That's how he can get himself in range for it. But then E-Blade into Adaptive Strike. Still seems to be effective to me.
Radiant's middle tower.
It's a good combo. Pushing his experience up. He's 903 over on this Morphling. Fnatic looking very good up against Power Rangers. And they're going to beat down this tier 2 tower. And they got it. Centaur will take the last hit up to 2.4k gold now. Now, Fnatic will be very efficient about this. I think even with this semi new roster, I want to make sure no chances are taken. So a tier 2 tower in the bottom lane should be the next objective. There's already a DD rune in the bottom river, which they can see. Which can also be picked up. But Hani's going to force out the top lane, leaves a replicate behind. They want to make sure every single lane is controlled by Fnatic. And so far, they're doing a bloody good job of it. And what do you really get back from here? Like Power Rangers. They are able to plateau the advantage for a little bit, but they're not getting any of the major control back. Now, Hani, Lucasfield will be triggered. They roar him as well. He's still got a replicate available. And now Hani, the stuns. Is it going to be long enough? Strength morph. Oh, he's at the replicate. They committed a lot to that. Spectre Haunt, the Beastmaster ultimate. 4 heroes up to that top lane. We just 6 the only men defending it, which means they've only got one choice. They have to take the tier 1 tower. But it's again another DD ruined up Arise. So this bottom tier 2 tower will not last long, and Fnatic will go high ground. A tier 2 for a tier 1 trade-off any day. They use their fortification early because they know when the tower goes down, there's another fortification available, so they will 100% win on the trade. And they'll come high ground. They want to end this now. They already have their advantage. There's no reason to back down. They need to bring down the ranks, however. That's going to be their primary objective. With the E-Blade hitting Honey not looking too healthy at the moment. He's actually life leech out a little bit more here, but come with me. Without the creep wave there, his aura doesn't really help out Honey. And Honey's actually, he's going to replicate out. Jump out to heal up and then replicate in. Peddler Strike not looking too healthy. The SE Disrupt's going to be there. The Hellfire Blast, J4 will burn from that. Which means they've already got the kill, and now Honey comes back into the replicate. Again, though, he's on a full life. And now, though, into Shashlo. They're really getting that combination right. Looking for the perfect timing when Honey's going to E-Blade, and then they couple their abilities together. And this will allow Fnatic to take the melee ranks in the mid, and maybe even a little bit more. The advantage is fully theirs at the moment. And Hoofstomp jump in. Cheshire Cat, defensive destruction, but they call it the GG. Cheshire Cat does it while he's out of this world. And rightly so. Fnatic have this game quite firmly in the bag. So we'll be having ourselves a short break. We'll come back here for game number 2 of our D2CL coverage for tonight, when Fnatic will be playing up against Power Rangers for the next game. And remember, Fnatic, they're keeping their hopes alive with this one. And they also just opened up the entire group stage with that loss now, because Power Rangers, well, they've opened up a choice for Alliance, Na'Vi, virtus.pro, everyone in the bottom part of this bracket to still make it into the European playoffs. Who will get there, though, we'll find out over the course of the next weeks. For now, though, we're watching the final games of Power Rangers, and we'll see if they can hold their position here, or if they go to 8 losses and Fnatic take 2 victories. Stay tuned, we'll find out what's going to happen.